Today is probably going to be a short video because I'm very busy. Not that I don't want to spend time with you guys. I obviously do. But I'm very busy with a lot of projects coming up. Some that I have to do some recording for pretty much the entire day. So after today, it's basically going to be impossible. That's why I'm recording this now. And I didn't really have too much to talk about, but there was one thing that I wanted to cover, and it's not so big a deal that I feel like it's worth a huge argument over, but there was some stuff that I had seen online talking about fandubs, and apparently there were some sites that had, I don't know if this was intentional or unintentional, but there were some sites that had listed fandub animes alongside official animes. That they were basically recognized as an actual show. And this kind of got some people heated. I don't remember what site. I think the site was My Anime List. And there was some animes, I have them right in front of me. I don't know why I'm off to the side thinking about it. But there's Rainbow Days. There was a fandub of that. And then there was, I don't know how to say that one, Kuroku no Basket. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But that was also a fandub. And My Anime List listed those in their list of animes. And they're fandubs, but it does actually say, in parentheses, fandub. And some people were kind of upset that those were even listed at all. I don't know how the site works. I don't really care. I think, again, going back to the whole fandubs versus official dubs versus abridges, you have official dubs, you have fandubs, and then right there in the middle you have abridges. Abridges are kind of that gray area. It kind of depends on how you do it. You know, and as long as you're not making profit directly off of it, then for the most part it's fine. But fandubs are more in the darker area. Even if you're not making any money off of it, you're still essentially releasing a product that, you know, the official studios and the anime studios, the official dubbing studios and the original anime studio are now not making any money off of. And obviously, as all voice actors aspire to do, is we want to do a good job. And so even fandub groups still try to do high quality production. And there's a lot of animes, fandub animes, that are on par with official dubs. And actually there's been some abridges and some fan-made stuff that I've heard that's actually better than some stuff that I've seen on some official dubbing productions. I'm not going to name which ones because that gets people heated. But there was one comment, and again, I'm not going to show the comment. I'm not going to link it or say who it is because it's really not relevant who said it, when, or all this kind of stuff. It's really just pointing out what's being said. I think there's some fallacies. And if this is a reflection to how a lot of people view fans and independent voice actors and dubbing studios, there are some fallacies in here. And I just want to kind of eliminate some of these ideas. Basically this person, there was a long discussion about fandubs versus official dubs, and again, I lean not towards the fandubs. I think short fandubs are fine, but don't do the entire series. Either way, they were talking about how basically they were saying that fandubs are kind of more or less trash, in their opinion. But it's why that doesn't really make any sense. And okay, so basically, try to sum it up. They were kind of breaking down the different reasons why fandubs are trash and official dubs are good. and all this kind of stuff. And this is not why a fandub shouldn't be done. This is not why a fandub is inferior to the official dub. These things that he's about to list are not why. The reason is because you don't have the license, and you're kind of essentially stealing the product and releasing it out to everyone, when alternatively they could go to a platform which they pay a membership, and then the people who both did the dub and the original anime studio then make, that then makes a profit off of their product, as opposed to you releasing it for free on YouTube and them not getting anything. That's where it becomes a problem. But their thing is, number one, equipment. Pro dubbing companies have professional level recording studio, mixing equipment, and editing software. Fans don't. This isn't true. This is absolutely not true. The same equipment that is used in official dubbing studios is available to the public. Most of the time, it's either Adobe Audition, or the entire Adobe suite, or it's Pro Tools. It's really just preference nowadays as to which studio uses what. A lot of the big studios that have been around for a long time still use Pro Tools, because that one's probably been around the longest as far as a high-end professional program. But both of these are available to purchase as a fan. Anyone who's unofficial can still get their hands on those. They don't need special equipment to really run. The only unique equipment that they have would probably be like a source connector ISDN link kind of thing. Other than that, really, there's not really much else that a studio has that a fan cannot get their hands on. And anyone who's an inspiring voice actor is going to be looking into that stuff and learning and building their own studio anyway. They're probably going to be dabbling more and more into that. So that's not really true. That's not why a fan dub is worse than an official dub. Again, it's about the money and who owns the rights. Second thing was talent. This one kind of pisses me off. No matter how much dub haters like to claim... Dub haters? I don't think he means to say that. Claim that any random joker from the internet can do a better job than real dub VAs. It's not true. But even... whatever. Again, that's not true. I don't know who this person is and what element of voiceover they've ever done, but the difference in skill and talent has nothing to do with whether or not it's official or dub, or fan dub. The level of skill can be the same level of skill can be found in Hollywood, can be found in major studios in the industry, and independent at home. Same level can be found. Now, the majority of higher talent is going to be in the industry, because as you go on, as you showcase your talent, you're going to get more and more work. You're going to start working with more and more studios. But essentially, there's nothing to prevent an independent talent from being on the same level as someone who has contract, regular licensed work with the studio. There's nothing to prevent that. This is a major fallacy. Major fallacy. In fact, a lot of people that you see doing animes, especially minor characters in animes, are still independent voice actors working from home. They just got a role with a studio. They knew somebody, they had connections, they submitted, and the studio liked it. They sent them an audition, they land the audition. But they're still working from home. They're still independent voice actors. Also, the difference between independent work and studio work, professional studio work, is also starting to get closer and closer together. It's starting to change. And that's because the software and the mediums in which the stories are being told are getting easier and easier for anyone to make. Animation is easy. I mean, it's not easy to understand. It takes many, many years to understand animation, but it's easy to get your hands on the software and the tools that's needed. I have a couple animation programs available to me. Half of them are free, and some of the ones that are free, I think, I don't remember which one. I think it's like TV Studio Paint or something like that. Studio Ghibli uses a free animation frame-by-frame program. That's available to anyone. Anyone can download it. Anyone can learn it. Yes, it's very complicated, but anyone can get their hands on. I have a couple other programs as well. I have Moho, which used to be called Anime Studio, which is more like puppet rigging kind of thing. That, I think, at most is like $400. It's not that expensive. It used to be thousands of dollars for major studio software, but now it's really cheap. It's not that expensive. Anyone can get their hands on it. So the reason I'm saying that is because, so there are a lot of independent content creators, video game makers, cartoon, anime, people doing all other kinds of forms of entertainment are able to hire independently. So now you have software that is easy to learn, easy to use, easy to get your hands on, that independent people, one or just a small handful of people, are able to create content that they can then, and since they are a small group or an individual, they don't have a huge budget, able to go and hire independent small talent. And because of websites or YouTube channels like mine that basically gives voice actors free information on at least where to look and where to start, it's getting easier and easier for people who are not industry to get at the same level of skill. The difference is obviously experience. People who've been in the industry longer are always going to have experience. Anyone who's been doing anything longer is going to have more experience, obviously. But that doesn't mean that someone can't still do a great job at a particular thing. That doesn't mean that your audio quality is not going to be good. So, just want to say that. Number 3 was music, sound effects. So summing up kind of the point that he's making here, so the reason that, and this one I kind of agree, but kind of don't agree. The reason that this one, there's a little bit more here. This one doesn't actually say too much about the fandub. However, this one is a huge hurdle for anyone doing an abridge or a fandub to jump over. But I will say, if someone is able to do it well, it is actually a huge statement on their skill as a mixing, editing, and performance artist. Because, so, like I've said before, an official dub, they're given basically the video, the sound effects, and the music all mixed together without the dialogue, that they just then have to go and put the dialogue in. An official dub is sometimes, except for the turnaround with a deadline, is sometimes easier on a technical side than an abridge or a fandub. A fandub is probably the hardest because you have to go in and recreate everything that's in there that would be in that scene, but from scratch, because you don't have the layers of dialogue, sound effects, music separated. So you have to get rid of all of that. And then you have to put it all in from scratch, which can be technically more daunting. It can be more challenging, which is why I think why they're making this point, why a lot of fandubs miss that mark, why it actually doesn't land the best, and why it can sound incredibly cheap, because it's incredibly tedious. And from someone who's done 1-minute fandubs, which take me multiple days to get right, if you're trying to do an entire series, lazy people, people that are less talented, less experienced, are going to be cutting corners, and it's probably not going to sound as good, which is probably, I think, the point that's being made here. However, I have heard fandubs, again, I do not condone them, but I don't condemn them. I'll say that. Just be careful. That's what I'm going to say. Be careful. I have heard some where they've been edited so well back together, finding the original soundtrack, finding sound effects that basically match what was originally there, and then putting it in so seamlessly that it's hard to tell what's official and what's fandub. And that is more of my point, is that, again, this is about the tools that are available and the skill level that is out there is getting really, really close to industry standard. The idea that a fandub in general, like because it's named fandub, it's not going to be good is quite an indictment that I don't agree with. Also, remember that a lot of official dubs actually do kind of qualify as fandubs, because some animes have been out in Japan for a really, really long time and then are then picked up in America. And a lot of people who are doing, not just America, but a lot of people who are doing the dub are actually fans of the anime in the original Japanese. And so them doing a dub as a fan would still qualify as a fan dub, especially if they're still making it with love for the fans of the original Japanese. It would still qualify as a fan dub on basis of the things that make something a fan dub. The reason something is called a fandub is it's not called a fandub because it's shit. It's not called a fandub because it's cheap and free. It's not called a fandub because it's stealing. It's called a fandub because it's fans who love something putting in effort and energy into making something really, really good. Now, on the technically a fandub side, is they're doing this a lot of times because, number one, if you're someone like me, you're wanting to dabble in dubbing side of the industry. You're wanting to get your feet wet with the idea of matching lip flaps, ADR, all that kind of stuff. And you're wanting to kind of showcase what you can do and also kind of get a chance at characters, even if it's just for a demo or for a sample, really quick demo or sample, just getting a chance at characters that you don't normally get to do. That's what a fandub is. So there's not really too much different between the two, and I don't think that it is a fair thing to compare, and I don't think it's a fair thing to condemn for those reasons, for quality and lack of professionalism and stuff like that. Again, the reason that I don't condone fandubs, more lenient towards abridges, because they are actually changing. They are actually doing commentary. They're changing up something. They're rearranging it. They're essentially taking something that's pre-existing and more or less making it their own. But you have to do a lot of editing and a lot of writing and take a lot of creative license to actually make it something of your own. And you can't just, you can't just re-release it. You have to change it in some way. You have to alter the original content and add something new to it. That's why abridges are in the gray area. Really just kind of depends on how they're handled. And fandubs are more in, full series fandubs are more in the darker gray area. Again, legally there's not too much that a studio can do other than to ask you to please stop. If you ever take someone's content and you edit it, change it, whatever, re-release it, even if it's for free, even if it's with good intention, if they ask you to stop, probably stop. Now, if it's an abridge and you have, within the parameters of the law, have changed it up enough and have made, done more than 50% of original content, you may have a little bit more grounds to keep it up. But again, if someone does ask you nicely, out of respect for the original content, because you are a fan of the original content, I would encourage that you take it down. That's just me. But again, if there are people out there that thinks that fandubs are shit because of they doesn't have studio equipment, or they're not talented, they need to just shut the hell up. It's not true. So, yeah, that was it. There's more to this article, and there's more to this feed or whatever. But I didn't want to go down the whole thing. I just wanted to cover that, yeah, because I thought it was important. If there was more people out there that thought that, or if anyone has ever said that to you, share my video, whatever. Share my video with them. Let them talk to me. I'll talk to them. So you don't have to. So, yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and leave down in the comment section below like to see me cover any other topics. Ask me any questions, or you can email me if you need help. A lot of people have been doing that a lot more lately, and because I've been busy, it's been kind of hard to get to them quickly, but I will get to your emails eventually. It just may take a day or two. So, yeah, that's going to be it. And until next time, peace.